welcome to the Redefine Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about getting more done by doing less. Hopefully, this conversation, by the end of it, it'll help you be more efficient by really getting focused. That's really, I think, the conversation. We have a tendency, because of the internet and because of our exposure to social media and things like that, to be relatively scatterbrained, and also just the frenetic pace of life. I think there's this tendency to just want to tackle a million things, and not to say that you don't have obligations or that you should ignore those obligations, but when it comes to your entrepreneurial journey, when it comes to the business that you're trying to build, you have to be really, really hyper focused. You have to. Otherwise, you're not really going to make much progress, right? If it's a conversation of whether you're dabbling in a thing or not, or whether you're becoming a master at it. And so here's what I want you to think about. Number one, get clear about your outcome. Get really, really clear about the thing that you want to achieve. Otherwise, then it's just everything is random, right? And your attention will be pulled by the next shiny object, which, I mean, it happens, right? It happens. So if you don't want the next shiny object to get your attention, the next potential moneymaker or the next potential venture, then really, really be specific with what you want your outcome to be, whatever that might be. Now, after that, once you kind of figure that out, then really get specific and figure out what skill sets you need to master in order to achieve those outcomes, right? And you have to be really specific about this as well, right? What specific skill sets do you need to master, and really drill down? Now, for example, for me, network marketing was my primary field of interest, right? I've been a network marketer for, over 17 years now at this point, cumulatively. And I've worked at it, right? I worked at it. And especially in the early years to achieve the results that I wanted to get, I had to really get super, super hyper focused. Now, were there other things going on in my life? For sure. I had to have a job in the meantime. I had to, keep food on the table and roof over my head and all that stuff. However, my primary focus was making sure that I developed mastery in the skills, the very specific skills that would help me achieve success in network marketing. Did I have other interests? Yeah, for sure. I was very much had a passion for the arts. I had a passion for acting and performance. I had a passion for playing music, but I knew that if I drew too much attention and too much focus away from the primary thing, which was network marketing, then I would never really be able to fully achieve the things that I wanted to achieve in network marketing, right? Because scattered attention and scattered focus delivers scattered results. So I wanted very, very specific results, and so I focused on developing very specific, focused on mastering very specific skill sets. Now, once I really started to gain traction in network marketing, I drilled down even further and narrowed it. My own specific kind of proclivities led to mastery in personal development, right? Because that was the difference maker in my own career, and then I got really good at coaching it, right? It was this narrow focus that allowed me not just to get to a point of success in network marketing, but allowed me to kind of have that unicorn stratospheric achievement or success level of success that I don't know if it's true or not, but people say that's only reserved for the 1-2% of network marketers. I don't think I would have been able to do that had I been too scattered in my focus, right? So that's really where my focus has been over the last, 15, 16, 17 years. And I've only just recently expanded that, right, into online marketing, right? Well, marketing in general, but then, honing it down and drilling it down to online marketing. And even when I started this online marketing journey back in the beginning of 2020, I was very specific in terms of, learning it piece by piece and mastering it piece by piece, because it could be overwhelming, right? There's so many moving pieces to online marketing and so many different aspects, so many different, subcategories and avenues that you can take with online marketing that it would have been impossible to gain mastery in all those things in such a short period of time had I tried to learn it all at once. right? Had I tried to do all those things at once, because again, my focus would have been too scattered. So I took it step by step. I put my focus at first on content creation and kind of got a handle on that. And then after content creation, email, and growing my email list. After that, it was teaching online courses and virtual seminars, right? And then now, fast forward to May coming up, right? Very soon, in a couple of weeks, I'm teaching my first fully paid course, right? I definitely know that I would not have gotten as much done, or I would not have made this much progress in as short a time had I tried to focus on all those things at once. Because your brain can't focus on multiple things and still be able to juggle it. And it's really, I think, a question of following through in one specific thing before moving on to the next. I'm not saying don't have broad interests. I, again, have broad interests. I love music. I'm also an athlete. I'm a long distance runner. I love fitness, but none of that. I can't build all those different things into, new ventures all at the same time. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up being this kind of generalist that's dabbling at a million things and never really succeeding in any of them, right? Can I succeed in all those things, together? Sure. But it's a matter of taking enough time and sitting with one specific thing long enough to gain mastery so that you can make forward progress. And that's really the way to do it. What I see happening with entrepreneurs, the risk is that, this access to information makes us feel that like we're gaining a certain level of expertise, and mastery in these things, and therefore accomplishment, right? And it's not really accomplishment. You're just acquiring knowledge. You're just acquiring more information. And I could talk about how the education system and how it programs us to just acquire and regurgitate information and rewards us for that, and therefore we feel accomplished. That sense of accomplishment is not really, it's a false sense of accomplishment, because if you're just acquiring knowledge and being an expertise at a surface level at 100 things, you got to ask yourself, are you really moving closer to your goals? And that's why I started off this episode by saying, okay, you have to get really, really specific about the outcomes and the goals that you want to achieve. And that informs everything else, every next step after that in the entire process. The main thing is get specific, right? Get specific and get very narrow, because again, if your attention is on too many things at once, if you've moved on to too many things too soon, then you're not really going to make too much forward progress, right? Right. So be careful with that. Be careful with that. I know there is a tendency to want to jump to the next hot thing, right? To this next, this is another moneymaker. Oh yeah, this is a next cool thing, right? Like, wow, everybody's doing this now, and this and this and this, and all this stimuli and influence from the internet and the social feeds, especially in the world of business, right? In the world of business and marketing, it's always about the next hot thing. Don't let that distract you. Try not to anyways, right? Really, really develop that focus, develop that muscle of being laser focused on the outcomes that you're trying to create and the goals that you're trying to create, and then get really, really hyper focused on the specific skill sets that you need to master in order to create those goals, right? All right, so that's it. That's the talk for today. Do less, get more done. All right, more from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.